One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, Insanewheels rises a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insanewheels, hear his battle cry. A metal mayhem that will never die. With vengeance roaring, he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Man, oh man, every single day do we have some wild shit to go ahead and discuss. Good morning to everyone, man. Let's get it this morning. All right, as you guys can see from the title here, Trump declares economic D-Day on Iran, as well as U.S. debt hits $40 trillion, and Kim Jong Un is meeting as planned, it says. All right, so let's go ahead and discuss what we're going to be showing and presenting on a chronological timeline. First, we're going to be discussing Carmelo Anthony trial. Judge removed from case as Anthony seeks new trial. We were kind of giving you guys a little bit of an update on that yesterday. But I don't even know the full details of that, what's happening this morning, or actually it was yesterday when it happened, but still. President Trump names new FDA commissioner, and we actually have like the details of who this person is. We have one dead and one injured after house explosion in Annapolis. Annapolis. I don't even know where that is. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. Obviously, I can't even fucking pronounce it. Trump on Iran sanctions and North Korea and elections. I guess that he has a little bit of a press conference there. And then we have, who is Dr. Heidi Overton, Trump's new FDA chief? That's what we're going to be discussing a little bit this morning, is who that person is. Then we have Great Falls, Virginia killing. Suspect was in country illegally, had intimate relationship with victim. Man, it's always some fucked shit like that. Oh, man. Then we have U.S. national debt passes 40 trillion mark, what it means. And yes, we actually showed you guys yesterday on the Diamond Effect on the live debt clock that we're past 40 trillion. We're like 40 trillion and 40 billion so far as of last night. Obviously, it's going to be, you know, it just goes up astronomically. We'll bring up the clock when we actually discuss that. Then we have President Trump to meet with Kim Jong Un this year. It says here on Wednesday, President Trump announced plans to meet with North Korean Kim Jong Un later this year. The announcement comes days after Trump ordered the Pentagon to scale back joint military exercises with South Korea. And of course, we broke that story as well. Then we have Pennsylvania. Yeah, it is Pennsylvania. Police helicopter, small plane collide midair near airport. Says here we're learning more this Wednesday evening, which was obviously yesterday, after reports that a Cessna 150 airplane and a Bell 407 helicopter collided in midair in Pennsylvania. Fuck, man, I hate that shit. Let's see. The agency said 2 people were on the helicopter, according to the reports. Damn, and 150. Wait, let's see. Okay, it didn't say how many people were on the airplane. Okay, but we're going to have that for you guys. I'm sure that they're going to announce those numbers. Then we have police chase dirt bike in Los Angeles. Suspect stops for gas, and I'm sure that's when he probably got hemmed up by LAPD or some shit. Then we have economic D-Day, as we're discussing this morning. Trump threatens Iran and allies. It says U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening to put more economic pressure against Iran and its allies. In a Truth Social post, Trump wrote in part, quote, any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities to provide any type of lifetime to Iran will face tremendous economic consequences. Now, we actually have the write up of what detailed what is economic D-Day, what is this D-Day thing. We're going to be breaking that down for you guys a little bit. Then we have New York City woman missing while on vacation in Las Vegas. Unfortunate situation, missing since Saturday, August 8th, 2026. Then we have a police helicopter crash, pilot dead, troopers hurt in Pennsylvania collision. So this is the update on that mid-air collision. And it's a very quick update. It's only got 2 minutes, but it just came out 29 minutes ago. Anyways, quickly, before we get into the rest of the madness, let's go into our call to actions, and then we'll get into all the craziness. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it, and it's free to do so. You know what else is free is hitting that subscribe button. This is what we do Monday through Friday. And, of course, we have members only on Saturday morning, man. It's a good time. Speaking of members, please consider becoming a member starting only at $4.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at Ball Valve TV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, politics, all that great shit. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. And of course, we also have a Discord server for all of you legends. Make sure you guys go in the description down below of any live video that we're doing, and that's where the invite link will be for you guys. It's also where we breaking news as well. It's a great place for everybody, man. And last but not least, of course, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash,
Denied.
well, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen somewhere, and obviously you can donate to those where I get 100% of the proceeds, and of course, we'll read out loud anything that comes our way, just like a normal super chat. All right, and just so you guys know, we are raising funds, obviously. We started this week raising funds to get a new camera. Now, of course, we're going to be buying this camera used, but it's still extremely, extremely expensive. We're looking at a $2,000 used camera, you know what I mean? So any and all donations, even a dollar, goes a long way. So thank you guys. All right, let's go ahead and pretty much get right into it, but I will first say hi to a few of you guys. We got Carney Vanguard coming in first this morning. Then we got KP saying he made it, as well as Motobomb Virginia. And thank you for the raid from the coffee crew, all you legends over there. I'm very honored by that. And thank you, Carney, as well. We got Virginia Chaos in the building. Shout out to you. We got Naomi as well. Good morning to you. Well, let's see. We got Brother So Loud. And, of course, we got Carrie saying, what's up? What's up? What's up? Make sure you guys hit that like button. That's right. That's a fact, Jack. Pablo, good morning to you, as well as chatting with Stacks. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. What's up, Kim? I see you as well. Let's see. We got scrolling as fast as humanly possible, I do promise. We got OG Steve Easy. Yes, sir. Good morning. Mike, you're supposed to do a video about Sturgis sucked this year. Yeah, I know, right? Absolutely not, because I wasn't even there. Doesn't even matter. We got Chasing Ghost. Good morning to you. Great to see you. All right. And we got Sean, I see you, as well as No Grow. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. We got a lot to discuss this morning. I can already feel like we're going to be going into overtime today. Yesterday was the first time that we didn't hit overtime in like 3 weeks, you know? So anyways, here we go. Let's go ahead and bring this up. We're going to start with Carmelo Anthony and what's happening with this whole trial thing. Judge removed from case as Anthony seeks new trial.
We are following some breaking news out of Texas, where a judge has granted a request to recuse the judge involved in the Carmelo Anthony trial. A little bit more information here from our Fox 4 Dallas reporter, Stephen Dial, who was inside the courtroom when this decision was announced, stating that a Collin County judge has granted a request to recuse Carmelo Anthony, trial judge, from any further appeal proceedings. A new legal team for Anthony said days after the verdict, Judge Roach showed bias. Now, a new judge will be assigned to...
Where was the bias? I want to know where you guys say, okay, Judge Roach showed bias. Where?
Here, a motion for a new trial. And a little bit more information here on your screen as a Collin County jury found Anthony guilty of first-degree murder in connection with 17-year-old Austin Metcalf's fatal stabbing back on April 2nd, 2025. Judge Roach, who was the judge overseeing the proceedings, said that he believes the trial was fair to both sides despite there being no black jurors on the jury. This also comes amid claims that Roach's...
Well, that's what happens when you stab somebody in a part of town that, or a state or an area that doesn't have your kind there. Don't go to white neighborhoods and start stabbing white people and then expect black people to be on the jury.
Post-trial public statements show that he cannot be impartial. Now, a separate hearing tomorrow will consider the defense's request for a new trial. We are continuing to cover all of these, and you can see this is just another post right here. As a visiting judge grants the recusal and a new judge will be appointed in this case. So this is some file footage there of Carmelo Anthony as we continue to follow the very latest. I also wanted to share more from our Fox 4 Dallas team right here. So the state gave its arguments. The defense also argued, and the defense, the lead prosecutor, giving his arguments, saying that it's important to the judge that there is a notion of fairness, and he thinks that came across in his television interview. The lead prosecutor claims Carmelo Anthony's first legal team agreed to all the terms of the trial and wanted access limited to, quote, keep Anthony safe. Now, the lead prosecutor's view, Judge Roach did nothing wrong. The defense, though, presenting its arguments, playing a raw video of an 18-minute interview.
Yeah, see, that's such bullshit. And the truth is he is getting what he deserved. I mean, that's objective. But what's up, Steve Posey? Good morning to you.
In court, that is with the defense attorney, who argued that Judge John Roach made public statements and gave an interview 2 days after the verdict, 28 days before the deadline to file a motion for a new trial. He also pointed out that the judge offered no public overflow room during the entirety of the trial. So he argued that Judge Roach cannot be fair and impartial when it comes to hearing a motion for a new trial. The visiting judge granting that recusal, ordering that another judge be appointed immediately for tomorrow's hearing on whether Carmelo Anthony deserves a new trial. According to the reporter there in the courtroom, there was a huge applause and cheers.
I wouldn't care if the guy was black. I wouldn't care if the guy is white. I wouldn't care if he's Mexican, Asian. No, you don't deserve another trial, objectively. Okay, let's go ahead and move on from this bullshit. President Trump names new FDA commissioner, and we actually have some of the updates on her as well. Let's go ahead and bring this up and figure out what's happening with this.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Stephanie Quinu. We are continuing to follow breaking news out of the White House as President Trump has picked Dr. Heidi Overton, a top White House aide, to lead the Food and Drug Administration. He made this announcement just moments ago. Dr. Overton is a medical doctor and deputy director of the White House Domestic Policy Council who has worked on several of Trump's second-term health initiatives. She's also become a trusted figure in his administration and a champion of President Trump's goals. So we also wanted to share President Trump's reaction to his announcement, and this is what he posted via True Social, saying today,
Yo, real quick before it gets into what Trump said right there, we got Tootie Bug coming in, hanging out with us. Good morning to you.
Honored to nominate the wonderful Dr. Heidi Overton as our next FDA commissioner. Dr. Heidi has been a rock star in my administration, where she has worked directly with Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Oz, and team to deliver on the most transformative health agenda in history. She is known to take on the hardest issues and bring me solutions that work best for the country. Heidi is always right, Secretary Kennedy recently said in the Oval Office. We need her leadership at the FDA now to ensure that the U.S. remains the world leader for scientific discovery and cures. Dr. Overton was a prestigious White House fellow in my first term, is a board-certified physician in public health and general preventative medicine, and holds a PhD in clinical investigations from the Johns Hopkins University. She is smart and respected by all. Dr. Heidi will work with Secretary Kennedy and Dr. Oz to rapidly deliver on my priority as of faster cures, increased American innovation, major clinical trial reforms, lower drug prices, and even more Maha wins. So we did want to share that with you as we continue to follow this breaking news right here. And this is a photo of Dr. Overton right now. So President Trump, of course, calling Dr. Overton a rock star and very smart right here. Dr. Overton did attend medical school at the University of New Mexico. She has
Well, I would fucking hope.
a doctorate degree in clinical investigation from Johns Hopkins University. That's according to her LinkedIn profile. And before joining President Trump,
No, she ain't a dime. No. But she's not the worst of the worst looking. But
administration, she served as chief policy officer at the conservative think tank America First Policy Institute. So we did want to share that with you. Also getting continued reaction.
What's up, Gary? Good morning to you, by the way.
This is from HHS Secretary RFK Jr. saying a pantheon of superstar candidates made choosing our next FDA commissioner one of the toughest decisions of my tenure at HHS. I'm confident President Trump and I chose the best person for the job, Dr. Heidi Overton. Heidi brings exceptional judgment, professionalism, discipline, and an unwavering commitment to the American people. I have seen her challenge assumptions, demand excellence, and turn bold ideas into meaningful results. At the FDA, she will make our food supply safer, modernize drug approvals, unleash American medical innovation, accelerate access to life-saving treatments, bring greater transparency and accountability to the agency, and restore gold standard science as the foundation of every decision.
And then he just goes on to say, congratulations. I look forward to working with you, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So let's get into now. We got 1 dead, 1 injured after house explosion in Annapolis. I don't know where that is, by the way. I've never heard of this place. So we're going to find out where and when this all happened.
And just like that, we do need to pull away because we do have some other breaking news to get to right now. It looks like police in Annapolis, Maryland, that's the capital of the great state of Maryland, but also the home of the Naval Academy. It looks like they had an explosion there earlier that police are now giving an update on. So let's go ahead, head out to Annapolis, Maryland, and take this live.
I'll brief you on what we found when we responded, what the ongoing actions are. If you have any questions about road closures or people needing access to their homes, we have PD here to help with that. At 12:17 this afternoon, we started receiving several 911 calls at our dispatch center, reporting an explosion in a structure with massive damage.
Anytime a house explodes, you got to instantly think, okay, we got a meth lab going on over here that popped off, or it's going to be a massive gas leak explosion or something like that. But either way,
calls continue to floor in from neighbors. The call was dispatched at 12:19. Anne Arundel County Fire Department.
Yes, Steve, easy. It is the place in Maryland. That's where they're discussing right now.
Arrived at 12:22, some 3 minutes later, to find what we believe was a 2-story structure. That had collapsed.
Okay, you're being sarcastic. Now I hear you.
Second floor onto the first floor from some type of explosion. There was no fire present, just significant damage, including a debris field that extends about a half a block up the street. As soon as our first units arrived, the neighbors had extricated one person who was on the outside of the building. That victim.
Real quick, we got Sterling Wheel coming in hot in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your thirsty Thursday morning so far. And by the way, this goes for everybody. Let's get the likes up. Double tap the screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it.
Was in cardiac arrest. Our medics and firefighters worked that victim for a significant period of time until the victim was pronounced dead on the scene. The second victim was located inside of the structure. He has since been removed. That individual has suffered some significant burns and was lifted by air to the burn center at the university. Where we're at right now with this is we are in the process of trying to locate what we believe was the source. It was purported that about an hour before the explosion, there was a vendor there to resupply the house with propane. We don't know that the two are related. That vendor came, supplied the house with its propane, and then left. Neighbors say that the occupant was out back working, doing home.
What's up, Sean? Good morning, by the way.
Type stuff, and then they heard an explosion. They don't know what exactly he was doing, and there's no reason to connect the fact that he was working in the explosion, that those are connected also. We're sorting through all that. So once we find where that propane tank is, we are going to secure that so that we can move into what we call a secondary search of that structure. It is significantly, the integrity is significantly challenged, but we don't have anybody to confirm that there was not somebody else there, a friend, a neighbor who may have come to help. We've requested a USAR dog, which just arrived as I was leaving from the DC Fire Department. That dog will do a surface search to see if they can find anybody else in the structure. And once that's done, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department Special Operations teams will begin to shore up the buildings.
See, that's a very good question, Steve Posey. He's giving me a philosophical question. So, Mike, is that case half full or half empty? Well, listen, the way that I look at it is I'm just glad that I still have a case. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the glass half full, glass half empty. I don't look at it either way. I'm just glad that I still have a glass.
So they can dig deeper down into the collapse pile to make sure that nobody else is in there. So priority number one is securing the propane. Priority number two is getting the secondary search done of the structure. That's where we're at right now. I would leave you with two things. We would ask the people that live in the community not to come down to the site. We are still having readings of propane in that structure, so we don't want anybody down there in the area. The second thing is we're seeing a lot of private drones. We have drone operators here from Anne Arundel County Police Department, Anne Arundel County Fire Department, and the ATF, and they need to have priority airspace to do what they need to do. So we're asking private drone operators not to do it. With that said,
damn, Steve, you had a explosion happen at your house as well.
I'll answer some questions.
Damn.
Hi there, Keisha Wilson, Fox 5. How many people are impacted in terms of displaced?
There are two immediate private dwellings, one on each side of the structure. They're not attached, they're detached. Right now, we have them out of the house until we can get that propane issue taken care of, but they suffered little to no damage to their homes. So as soon as it's safe, we'll let them back in.
So 2 additional families affected?
Yes, ma'am.
So they're labeling this whole thing from a propane issue.
They both live in that house.
So here's what we know, and I don't want to lean too forward. We know that 2 adults live there, that those adults were there prior to the explosion, and that's where we're standing for now because we don't have any further information. The address is out there, so we don't.
What's up, Prez? Good morning. All right, unfortunately, it doesn't sound like he's going to give us any more information. He's going to loop on this loop right here, guaranteed. All right, let's go and move on because we still got an immense amount of shit that we got to get through, and we got to try to cram this into a single hour. But I bet you we're going to have a little bit of overtime today. Trump on Iran sanctions, North Korea, and elections. All right, so this looks like it happened over there in the Oval Office. I can't tell where this is at. Let me see here.
Yep. And pull up the audio and listen in
live.
It
is.
Okay, it's a serious group of people here. If you're into the world of
I'm with you on that, Steve Easy. I'm with you.
Finance like I am. I love finance. There's a who's who with us today. It's amazing that you don't know some of these people, but anybody in finance knows every one of them. And I want to thank them for being here today. We're delighted to welcome some of our nation's brightest minds in finance, crypto, and technology ahead of the first ever meeting of the CFTC's Innovation Advisory Committee in Washington, D.C. This is a group of very smart people that are on a committee to recommend what we do. Right, Paul? They're going to be telling us a little bit, but I think Paul knows maybe more than anybody. He's doing a great job. We're all happy with Paul, I think, right? He's been absolutely fantastic. Crypto markets and the prediction markets and conventional finance to decentralized finance. The people in this room are ensuring that the future of commercial markets is pioneered and
What's up, Mr. Al Patterson? Good to see you in the chat this morning.
perfected. Right here in the USA, we're fighting a lot of other countries to control these markets and to have these markets and to profit and all the jobs and everything else created. And we're doing well. We're leading in every aspect, including AI, and we're leading by a lot. And we want to keep it that way. I want to thank the chairman of the Commodity Futures Trading Committee.
That's their side that fucked up the audio. Now they have to adjust it again.
Mike Salick, for his tremendous leadership. And come here. Thank you, Mike. I didn't recognize you from so close. And thanks as well to a very special man, a man that everybody respected for a long time. Yeah, he's a man I wanted to do this job, head of the SEC. Chairman Paul Atkins, who's also doing an outstanding job and everything else he touches. He's doing a lot of things for the country. So I want to thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. Thank you very much, Paul. We're also pleased to be joined by Executive Director of the President's Council with advisors with the digital asset. All of the digital assets are all put into one. Patrick Witt and many other top industry leaders, including Coinbase. Where's Brian? Brian Armstrong, CEO. He's one of the greats. Where is he? Where are you? Oh, you look well. You get much younger. You look good. CEO of International and Intercontinental Exchange, Jeff Sprecher. One of the things, a little thing called the New York Stock Exchange. He owns a thing called the New York Stock Exchange. Quite a nice asset, right? Yes, it is. CEO of NASDAQ, Adina Friedman. Thank you very much, Adina. Great job you're doing. CEO of Robinhood, Vlad Tenev. Thank you, Vlad. Nice to see you. And CEO of Kraken, Arjun Sethi. And thank you very much, wherever you are. Thank you very much. Great group of people. We also have some others here that we wanted them. It's where's Mike, co-founder of CEO of CTO and president of BitGo, which is a big deal in the world of that thing, that little thing that's happening out there. And Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. Brad, thank you very much, Brad. Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Chainlink Labs. Thank you very much. Good, Sergey. Good job. Arjan, you're here. Arjan? I'm still here. You're here? You haven't left? Peter Smith is here. And Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss have tremendous people, tremendous investors, brilliant people. Chris Dixon is here. And I think I've sort of got anybody I didn't mention, by the way. Pretty much got the whole group. Good. They gave me 4 sets of lists. And that's always a little complex. You never want to say one more than 3 times. Under the crooked Joe Biden administration, the spirit of innovation that built America was under serious attack like never before. And nowhere was that more true than crypto and other new financial technologies, where we were going to be taken to the cleaners by China and other countries. The radical left tried to crush these developments with crippling regulations, brutal restrictions, weaponization. They use weaponization, political weaponization, and constant targeting that drove innovation overseas. And they wanted to drive it out. And at the end of toward the end of the campaign, if you remember, they decided they liked it very much because there were over 100 million people that were liking Trump a lot more because I was in favor of it. They were against it, and they became very much in favor of it. But by that time, it was too late. And besides, those days are all over. That was a terrible period of time for a lot of very good, very honorable financial people. On day one, we fired Joe Biden's rogue SEC chair.
Yeah, we got royalty up in the building. We got Mr. J.R. Bowling. Great to see you in the chat, my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thirsty Thursdays morning so far. I know you're probably busy as fuck over there.
Gary Gensler. I think we like Paul better. Do we agree? We like Paul better? Number one, he's smarter. He's also smarter, by the way. But we fired him. We got him the hell out of here. We terminated the so-called Operation Choke Point 2.0, which is what the name of their operation was, weaponization. And we ended the war on crypto once and for all. And it's been booming. It's been doing big. And nobody's been able to break in. China would like to break in. They're still trying, but they have been able to. I signed a historic executive order banning any attempt to create a central bank digital currency. We launched Project Crypto to modernize rules so that our financial markets can move into blockchain technology. I established the United States Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, making Bitcoin a permanent asset of the...
I'm just going to be honest. Just a little side note for me. This is irrelevant to the conversation, but this is just me. I've never owned any type of cryptocurrency. I've never bought, or not even the penny ones or whatever. I just never got into any of that shit. I'm very old school thinking when it comes down to investment, and investing is not gambling. And that's what all this to me looks like. And I know there's a lot of people that have become very wealthy doing it and stuff like that. And kudos to them. Shout out to them. But that's just not the way that I invest.
The United States Treasury, which has turned out incredibly well. I also created the United States Digital Asset Stockpile to hold custody of all other digital assets, and that's exactly what it's done. It's been amazing. 1 year ago this summer, I signed landmark legislation known as the Genius Act. I named it after myself. I didn't want to use my name, so I just called it the Genius Act, paving the way for widespread adoption of dollar-backed stablecoins. And that's worked out very well. Every single American benefits enormously from our country's status as the financial center of the world, and we want to keep it that way. We're leading by leaps and bounds. We've gained so much in the last 16 months like nobody can believe, actually. Not only that, but we have more money being invested in the United States than any country at any time in history. Money's coming in by the trillions. Our nation's economic dominance drives trillions of dollars in investments, creates millions of jobs, and expands access credit. And
that's exactly correct, Virginia Chaos. If you don't hold it, you don't own it.
Capital, so that every citizen has a chance to achieve what we now hear a lot about, the American dream. Young people are looking for the American dream. They weren't thinking about that 2 years ago. New financial technologies are extending this American dominance into the 21st century, and that's why we're focused on creating a clear regulatory framework for pioneers and builders like the people that are with me here, so that they can do business with confidence on American soil. They don't have to go to other countries to do their business. We're ensuring that America remains the undisputed leader, not only in Bitcoin and crypto, but also technologies like prediction markets, artificial intelligence, and much more. And we're leading in every single one. And I will tell you, the AI, the artificial intelligence, we're way ahead of number two. Number two is China. And I never want to underestimate China, but right now we're way ahead. President Xi's coming on September 24th. We look forward to it. We'll probably be talking about AI and a lot of other things, but we're doing tremendously well, largely because of people and some other friends of ours that are on the board, and they'll be here in 2 weeks, I understand. In May, Chairman Selig authorized the first ever true Bitcoin perpetual futures contract on a CFTC registered exchange, first time. I understand that Mike is also working to bring hyperliquid into the United States in a fully compliant and legal fashion. It's working very hard on that. We would really like to see interest rates come down. You know, in the old days with interest rates, many of you are too young to know this, but when we announced good numbers, interest rates would go.
Real quick, as he claims great numbers and all that shit, let me just quickly bring this over here and let's look at what we're looking at, the U.S. national debt clock right now. Okay, so we're at 40 trillion, 52 billion, 6 million. That's how much we're at right now. Jesus, this is just out of control. Look at some of these numbers. It's just fucking crazy. Anyways, all right. Looking good over there, Trump. Here we go. Switch back to this.
Down. And the theory was because the asset value became so good, it became so prime. But now when we announce good numbers, which we're doing all the time, they keep driving the interest rates up because they're so afraid of inflation. And they shouldn't be. They should allow interest rates to go down. When you announce good numbers, you shouldn't drive them up. They keep thinking that we'll drive them up to stop inflation because success and growth does not cause inflation. Other things cause inflation. We inherited the #1 inflation ever in the history of our country from Biden. And it lifted prices and everything else, and we're getting them all down. But interest rates should be allowed to fall with the success of our country, not rise because of the success. But we're also on the very beginning of a revolution in fictional and financial.
Man, Hillbilly, man, it's been a minute since I've seen you in here, Hank. Good morning to you.
So you take a look at some of the things that are being done on a financial basis and the financial technology that's the potential to create more jobs, opportunity, and wealth for all Americans. And that's what it's doing, is creating jobs and great wealth. And I think that can't be better seen by the stock market. So we've had 80 in a short period of time, a year and a half. We've had 80 days where the stock market hit all-time highs. I haven't looked today. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't look. I don't want to look, but I hear it's good. But we've had 80 days, Jeff, where the stock market has hit an all-time high, and nobody's ever seen anything like that. And I think bringing it down to another level, and maybe a higher level from the standpoint of importance, 401ks have hit record highs on almost 40% of the time that I've been president of the United States, and that affects
extra surprise. Good to see you as well.
Tens of millions of people. The 401ks are at record numbers. So 2 years ago, our country was dead, and now our country is the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's nobody close. No other country is close, and every country will admit it. So now we need Congress to take the next step by passing the Clarity Act, a fair version of the Clarity Act, and this landmark structure legislation. And it's a very, very powerful structured legislation, which will keep us ahead of China, keep us ahead of everyone else, will open the door to the next wave of innovations and innovators. So I'd like to ask Chairman Selig to say a few words and a little bit of the details about what we're doing, and then we'll follow it up with Chairman Atkins and Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong, Intercontinental Exchange CEO Jeff Sprecher, Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev, and Kraken CEO Arjan. So we have that all set, and let's get going.
And we're not going to do all that. There's no way we're going to sit here and listen to all that with all these random CEOs of these random tech companies. All right, let's go ahead and move on because we've got still so much to get through this morning, and we're already 33 minutes into the show. All right, so who is Dr. Heidi Overton, Trump's new FDA chief? Let's go ahead and quickly bring this up and see if we can get any more details regards to the new FDA commissioner that Trump is putting in that position.
That came from the White House today. President Trump is nominating Dr. Heidi Overton, Deputy Assistant to the President for Domestic Policy, to be the next FDA commissioner. And of course, this comes as big news, as Dr. Heidi Overton has been a big Trump loyalist in the past, in the administration as well. And now getting that.
Real quick. Steve Easy says 401k is a terrible way to invest money. And you know what's crazy is I think it's a good thing that we do have some type of system for people that are unwilling to take money and their finances within their own responsibility. I think it's a good way to do that. And obviously the companies, if you're working for certain companies, they'll match you or whatever. So you've got some benefits that are somewhat beneficial, but truth be told, I would rather have all the money and invest the way that I would like to. You know what I mean? I don't need a third party to be figuring out where to put the money in the first place and determine my return. I'm not gonna. I don't need that.
Nomination. We will see what
I'll determine my own fate
to do when it comes to that. But right now, the nomination for Dr. Heidi Overton has been made official. For more on this, I want to bring in our next guest to help break it all down from the Wall Street Journal. Liz White joining us here. Liz, thanks so much.
When she first came on, she was frozen, but she almost looked like she was like in that like bored, miserable look. Look, watch.
I'm going to bring in our next guest to help break it all down.
See how she's like, what, Mike? No, but she's just frozen.
Down from the Wall Street Journal, Liz White joining us here. Liz, thanks so much for being with us. And yeah, so what do we know about Dr. Overton and what this could mean for the FDA?
Yeah, people do describe Dr. Overton as a Trump loyalist. She worked in the first Trump administration, and then she went to go work for the American First Policy Institute, which was a think tank that did a lot of work to further.
Well, anybody that Trump is going to recommend is going to be a loyalist to Trump.
The ideas.
That's just kind of how it goes.
That would kind of animate this administration. And then she's been in the Domestic Policy Council guiding health policies throughout the second Trump administration. The White House calls her an ally of MAHA, and Kennedy has publicly praised her, but there are MAHA allies who view her as kind of a slow walking force for certain policies. She was known not to be a fan of, for example, the psychedelics executive order, although she ultimately ended up working to rush that out. There are other things where people have viewed her as a somewhat opposed to MAHA or having reservations about things related to the food policies and that kind of thing. She was by Trump's side the other week as he released his new executive order on vaccines, which is something that will probably come up in her confirmation hearing.
Yeah, vaccines.
All right. And so really that's all we need to get out of this. This is what she looks like, by the way. So everyone gets an image of the new nominated person to take over the FDA, essentially. All right. Let's see. We already saw what Secretary Kennedy had to say about the situation earlier. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the next story. Great Falls, Virginia killing. Suspect was in the country illegally and had intimate relationship with victim. Oh, God. All right, here we go. Let's figure out what's happening here.
And one of those top headlines that we have been following for you, this was put out by the Fairfax County Police on X, saying suspect arrested. Our detectives have arrested the suspect in connection with the homicide of Carmen Litz-Puch that occurred in Great Falls on Monday. More info will be provided, and that happened a little bit earlier. I want to bring you the coverage from Fox 5 DC on this breaking news.
Were not only lovers, but co-workers as well. The suspect was arrested in Prince George's County overnight. He will be extradited here to Fairfax. Now, the 19-year-old, you mentioned him, he is Alexis Antonio Cedias Campos. This is a photo at the time of his arrest in Maryland. Federal sources telling Fox News the teen is an illegal alien from El Salvador. Was caught and photographed, then released at the border in El Paso, Texas 2 years ago. Cedias Campos is charged with second-degree murder in the stabbing death of 42-year-old Carmen Litz-Puch of
Damn. So, wait, hold on. He was 19 years old getting hooked up with this chick? What is going on, dude?
Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Fairfax County Police say the two were co-workers at a restaurant in the Village Center at Dulles in Herndon. That's where Fairfax County...
And then they became sexual, or what?
Police say the alleged killer was seen on camera Sunday night, arming himself with a murder weapon and a water bottle that he later allegedly filled with gasoline from his motorcycle. Carmen Puch was found stabbed to death Monday morning near her car off Georgetown Pike in McLean, not far from Great Falls.
We have video footage of our suspect at the restaurant where he worked with our victim, arming himself with a fixed blade knife, taking a pair of black latex gloves.
Yeah, but I'm also not 19 either. You know what I mean?
Bottle, and then off he goes with the intent to do harm and kill the victim. We know that when our victim and our killer eventually found themselves at the park, Difficult Run Trail Park, we know that our killer stabbed our victim repeatedly and eventually doused her in gasoline and tried to set her on fire. He was unsuccessful in the attempt to burn our victim, but we know that occurred.
Now, Now, in a GoFundMe account created by her employer, Carmen is described as a loving mother of a young girl, soft-spoken and
yes, this is over there at Great Falls.
Moved to Northern Virginia from New Jersey not long ago to make a better life for herself and her daughter. We also asked Fairfax County Police Chief Kevin Davis this afternoon about our reporting that Sadias Campos is in the country illegally.
I certainly fully understand the immigration question. I understand it completely. And I'm not demurring from answering it. I'll just say that there are other federal law enforcement agencies that are tasked with immigration enforcement, just like the Fairfax County Police Department is tasked with investigating murders.
Now, according to...
Real quick, what's up, Orlander? Great to see you in the chat, as well as TNT. Good morning to you, gentlemen. Hopefully you're enjoying your thirsty Thursday morning. Quickly, this is actually a great time to let you guys know, listen, you guys don't have to like all the craziness that's happening around the world or in the United States, but you guys can like the video for me and what we do here. So make sure you guys double tap the screen. Very much appreciate it if you guys are on the vertical side. Listen, there's a lot of chaos going around here, man.
Our reporting, there have
covering
been
it all, though.
Investigations here in Fairfax County so far this year, and in half of them, the accused killer was in the country illegally. Guys.
Tragic, Bob. Thank you. Local lawmakers launching an investigation into alleged ICE misconduct. This comes after Virginia resident Carolina Molina says that an ICE agent pointed a gun at her face during a tense encounter in Falls Church last week that was all caught on camera. Molina, who is a U.S. citizen, is calling for a thorough investigation into what happened.
Of course, there needs to be. All right, let's go into now. U.S. national debt passes 40 trillion mark. And what it means, okay, well, what it means is we're never paying it off. That's what it actually means. So quickly, before they go into that, let's go ahead and just bring up the debt clock real quick. So we're looking at U.S. national debt right here is $40 trillion, 52 billion, 37 million, 400, and now 500,000, now 600,000. You know, yeah, this is fucked. And then here's our official U.S. Federal budget deficit, which is $1,676,907,000,000. Yeah, it's just unreal. So anyways, let's go ahead and see what they're saying about this story, because obviously we just hit it in the last, handful of days. So let's go ahead and bring it over to this. Let's do it. Oh, you know what? Before we do, speaking of money and debt and all this craziness, I think it's time to get the money part over with.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Now that's the best propaganda that you're going to get all fucking day. So it feels ultra good to be a G. Yes, we are raising money right now to get ourselves a brand new camera. Well, actually new camera to me, but we're going to be buying it used. It's going to be a pretty penny. There's a reason why I'm buying it used, because it's so fucking expensive. It's $2,000, man. So we are raising money right now with you guys.
In Westfall, the U.S. national debt has surpassed a record $40 trillion today.
Oh, yeah, David. Thank you for that.
Programs and interest on the burgeoning deficit make up a large share of federal spending. Right now, you're looking at usdebtclock.org. The website is not an official government website, but it's widely recognized as a legitimate private tracker. You see there the national debt number itself, the figure now above 40 trillion. It's also got the debt per citizen calculated there, the debt per taxpayer also. Let's talk a little bit more about the news itself. Of course, the national debt hitting 40 trillion. This is just 5 months after it hit 39 trillion. And then it was 5 months before that it hit 38 trillion. So we're basically on track here to see $1 trillion worth of debt added to this number in just about every 5 months. Let's bring in economist Mike.
$1 trillion every 5 months is what we're going to average now. Oh my God.
Walden, he's here to break it down. So
listen, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Get yourself some gold and silver that you guys that you hold. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Okay. Just saying, it's not like the dollar is going to be lost tomorrow and lose all its worth tomorrow, but we can logically conclude that we are in a downward spiral, downward decline, not spiral, decline. And we continue down this. It's going to be really nice for you if you have some gold and silver to back your shit.
A lot of people hear the term national debt all the time. It sounds scary, but let's make it make sense to people. Who does the United States actually owe this money to?
Well, to Japan. Japan is one of them by a long shot. China being another. But Japan is our number one debt holder.
And mostly owed to citizens. The biggest holders
that's true too.
Are U.S. citizens as well as companies. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. What's happening when we do increase the national debt, which is usually obviously done to fund additional spending by the federal government, is it's taking money away from the private sector, number one. So those monies could have been used in private companies, et cetera, for wages for workers. Number two, we do see a correlation between both inflation and interest rates. That is, higher interest rates
they covered them up.
Correlate with the national debt. And then the last problem is that it tends to weaken the international value of the dollar. Now, maybe a lot of people don't worry about that, but that means that our currency becomes less valuable to foreigners, which tends to make our things that we buy from foreign countries more expensive.
That's true,
What are
Warland.
the biggest things that drive the debt higher on a given, well, I mean, in modern times, what largely is driving this number up that we're looking at right now live?
Well, I think you mentioned, Austin, the ironic thing is that it's the rising interest on the national debt is the biggest source of increasing the national debt.
Yo, that is the best comment yet about this. Abolish the federal government and abolish the national debt. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So it's almost as if it's a perpetual machine here. The more we borrow, the more the debt goes up, the more interest we pay, the more the debt goes up, et cetera. So it's really sort of self-reinforcing. Now it's helped by other types of spending that the federal government is pumping more money into a variety of things. But the biggest source is the interest on the debt itself. As it goes up, that interest is borrowed, and that pushes the debt up over again.
So the debt rose by another $1 trillion. It takes about 5 months for it to rise by $1 trillion nowadays. How would you describe that pace?
I would describe it alarming because it's going to reinforce all the bad things that I already mentioned: higher interest rates, higher inflation, lower value of the U.S. dollar internationally. Now, it's not going to cause the economy to crash, but we do feel these things. Interest rates, obviously, a lot of people, especially young people, have been claiming about interest rates being too high because they can't afford to buy maybe a house, et cetera. So it does have personal impacts. I do want to tell people no one's ever going to come to your door from the federal government and say, hey, this is pay up. This is your part of the national debt. It's not going to work that way. But
well, listen, man, I don't put it past the government to do anything. I like how this guy is confident in those kind of claims. But listen, I've been around the block long enough to know that the government does not actually have my best interest in mind like that. No, they have their own best interest in mind.
What I would like to see is obviously a solution here, and we did have a solution. If you go back to the 1990s, Congress passed an ordinance that said that if you introduce spending and it's not already covered by existing funds on the budget, you've got to figure out a way to fund that, either through higher taxes or reducing spending somewhere else. And during the 1990s, we actually, Austin, had debt, or I'm sorry, the debt actually, we didn't have additional debt. We actually paid down on the debt. We had surpluses then.
Yeah, we did, and that was like the last time we did that. So yeah, we're fucked just on the interest payments alone. Not even going to principal, just the interest is insane. All right, quickly, let's go into President Trump President Trump to meet with Kim Jong Un later this year. So this was discussed actually yesterday. We were talking about the situation, obviously, with South Korea and North Korea, and the United States doing their training or whatever. They do that twice a year, and they do these certain drills and all that stuff. And well, it's been scaled back because South Korea didn't want to agree on hopping on board with the United States and helping us with denuclearization of Iran. So because they didn't want anything to do with it, Trump said, oh, really? You don't want anything to do with this? Well, I guess we're going to scale down all of our drills with you too. So anyways, here we go.
Fall live look at the White House approaching 8:30 in the nation's capital. Today, President Trump said he's eventually going to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong Un later this year. Of course, Kim and President Trump have met before. They had a summit during President Trump's first presidential term. Trump is saying that he wants to meet with Kim this year, just days after he ordered the Pentagon to scale back joint military exercises.
Yeah, no kidding, JR. That's
with
hilarious.
South Korea, because the South Koreans declined to help the U.S. with Iran, and because of what Trump calls a good relationship with Kim Jong Un. The president has not elaborated further about his eventual meeting with Kim. He said that he would meet with Kim while he was giving White House reporters a tour earlier today. So don't have a lot more detail on this for now, but I do want to talk about the implications of a potential Trump-Kim summit. Let's bring in national security analyst and host of the Strap podcast, Hal Kemper. He's here with me. What could the U.S. stand to gain, firstly, from a meeting with Kim, Hal?
Well, Austin, potentially a meeting with Kim, they could talk and discuss denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula. That's always been a U.S. goal. That's been a goal of the international community, is that basically that North Korea would find a way to give up its nuclear weapons, and that maybe a stable peace could be established on the peninsula, ending
That's not going to happen, though.
the armistice, which is still technically a state of
And even Hal Kempfer knows that.
war, albeit there is not an armed conflict per se. Nobody's actually shooting each other.
What's up, Roy boy? Great to see you.
Although I will say there's some things in the DMZ that have
Roy
happened,
boy.
Demilitarized zone, that would make you scratch your head. But other than that, it's that would be the goal. That'd be the hope. The reality might be something different, but that would be the potential gain of some discussion. But that's a long road ahead.
Yeah. Is there a strategic value in the U.S. having friendlier relations with the North? You're a strategy
Of course.
guy.
Well, right now, not much that I can see. Kim Jong Un is to say.
Well, you got to remember, Kim Jong Un is heavily. I mean, basically, him and Putin are like this, inseparable. I think that there can be a strategic advantage for the United States to have a peaceful, connection with Kim Jong Un. But let's hear Hal Kempfer out.
Dream is, to put it lightly. He's a strong ideologue. He is a brutal dictator.
Yeah.
The treatment of the North.
Well, yeah, he's not gonna bow down to our commands or what we say. I would agree with that. And Putin has done the exact same thing. Putin, I look at as kind of a blender, kind of like how Trump is a blender, kind of like how Kim Jong Un. These three are very unique in the aspect of their ideologies and their loving to stir the pot, essentially. Like, there's a lot of that with those type of personalities.
Korean people is just absolutely horrific in every way, shape imaginable, and he's completely disconnected from the rest of society, and that's they call it the hermit kingdom for a reason. He's got North Korea completely disconnected. His greatest fear is that North Korean people realize just how bad it is in North Korea compared to the rest of the world. So he tries to keep that as basically a secret from all the Korean people. But that's I don't see any great value. Obviously, the threat of nuclear weapons, the ballistic missile capabilities they have, that's a major strategic concern we have. And so, yes, we have a desire to do something to mitigate or eliminate that threat. But I don't know that diplomacy is really going to have much effect on Kim Jong Un.
Well, because Kim Jong Un, like I said, Putin, Trump, these people are going to do what they want to do. That's just the end of the story. Whether the laws or there's diplomatic reasoning in between, whatever, they're just going to kind of do what they're going to do. So I understand his point of view on that. All right, quickly, let's get into Pennsylvania. Police helicopter and a small plane collide midair near an airport. We are learning from Wednesday, which was obviously yesterday, Wednesday evening, after reports that a Cessna 150 airplane and a Bell 407 helicopter collided in midair in Pennsylvania. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, reported that a Cessna 150 airplane and a Bell 407 helicopter crashed into each other midair near Carlsea. I don't know how to say that, on Wednesday. The agency said 2 people were on the helicopter, according to reporting from the partners over there in Fox, Philadelphia. All right, let's go ahead and figure out what's happening here.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for sticking with us here on Live Now from Fox. My name is Alexandra Goldberg. It's good to be with you on this Wednesday. We are tracking breaking news coming from Pennsylvania. I want to put this up here on your screen. The FAA saying
What up,
a Cessna
Tree?
150 airplane and a Bell
Real quick, we got Tree and we got Fidel in the building. Good morning to you guys. Great to see you.
407 helicopter collided in midair near Carlisle, Pennsylvania, around 7:50 p.m. local time on Wednesday, August 19th. 2 people were on board the helicopter. The number of people on board the Cessna is unknown. The FAA and National Transportation Safety Board will investigate. The NTSB will lead the investigation and provide all updates. We wanted to put some video on your screen here. This is the scene of the crash, the aftermath, as we reiterate some of these details. So the FAA reported that a Cessna 150 airplane and Bell 407 helicopter crashed into each other in midair near the Carlisle area of Pennsylvania. And by the way, Carlisle is about 2 hours west of Philly. This happened
interesting, pretty far out
right
there.
around 7:50 p.m. on Wednesday. The agency said that 2 people were on the helicopter. And again, the number of people on board the airplane is unknown at this time. We did want to bring you.
Yeah, I thought it was weird that they gave out the numbers of the helicopter. They knew that there was 2 people, but they gave 0 numbers on the airplane.
Action that we're getting from the governor of PA saying, Governor Josh Shapiro saying, I've been briefed on the aircraft crash involving PA State Police this evening in Carlisle, and I'm heading there now. Lori and I are praying hard, and we ask all of our fellow Pennsylvanians to join us reacting to that crash. We are expecting to get a press conference about.
Well, obviously we're going to be we're going to be going through every bit of these stories that we present. We do our damnness to follow the stories. Okay, let's get into police chase a dirt bike in Los Angeles. Suspect stops for gas, and I'm only assuming that's when he stops for gas is when he probably gets tackled. Let's see what happens here, though. There's always some crazy police chase over there in LA.
Okay, so we are getting some.
We're not even going to play the whole thing. I just want to show it to you guys, skim around, and we'll see him getting at the end tackled or something like that.
Breaking news. We're going to pivot really quickly here to Fox 11 Los Angeles because they're on top of a police pursuit. Usually they're following a car. Usually they're following something like a sedan or a truck, sometimes something bigger than that. Right now, they're following something much smaller than that. They're chasing a dirt bike. Fox 11 Los Angeles is on top of this pursuit right now. Before we get into this, just be advised they're in.
Oh, shit. Kerry's been watching it. He said he had someone stage gas in a park and still couldn't fill it up. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Oh, he got cooked, huh?
In LAX airspace. That means actually tracking this pursuit might have some challenges for the chopper, for the bird's eye view that we have. Nonetheless, Fox 11 online with their news right now. Their anchor's talking this over. I believe they have an expert on the line as well. Let's listen into this live dirt bike chase in LA.
Pursuit, keeping an eye on them. But with all these trees in a very congested area, keeping track of that motorcycle is pretty tough because
what's up, Wink?
It's behind a tree or up in a canopy of trees. You lose sight of it. It only takes a few seconds for that person to get in those positions and to get off the bike and start running to where the observer could lose them. But with the ground units this close behind, it's going to be a little tougher. But lots of police cars following, so they'll be able to steal down an area really quick if he goes off on foot. But still kind of going around the areas here south
a lot of cops.
The 85s down towards the 105 freeway. So kind of staying in that one general area of the South LA neighborhood of Watts and not really giving any signs of giving up here, but right through the intersection.
All right, let's skim ahead and see if we can get any better footage here.
Back off and just kind of trail the pursuit.
Helicopters getting out there.
His way out towards the Southgate area here.
He's got a motorcycle. It looks like he pulled into a gas station, but this guy also apparently has a gun with him. So yeah, there he is at the gas pumps.
So he's actually at the pump.
Alameda, they do. There's not going to be units too far behind to zip in here and cut him off. But I saw him. He was on a cell phone as he was rolling south here on Alameda. And this is the second time I've seen this month where suspects have stopped and started getting gas. But right here, you see he still has the cell phone in his left hand as he's pumping gas and watching for units to come around. But I'm surprised they're not on him really quick at this point because they weren't that far behind. And Alameda,
he did tear it off. He took the hose. Oh, shit. He just went for it.
Left hand as he's pumping gas and watching for units to come around. But I'm surprised they're not on him really quick at this point because they weren't that far behind. And Alameda is right. Oh, pulls away with the gas pump. Yeah. Wow. And so I must have seen a unit come rolling in, and now I'll across the sidewalk and continue southbound on Alameda here. But he's really that's something there. Just taking a gas pump with him, and now LAPD is going to have to pick it up now. He's got more gas.
So now he failed on that level, and now he's going to go get gas in the park.
Board, so this pursuit could go on for quite a longer time.
Yeah, he managed to ditch the nozzle and the hose, but well, you just add another charge. That's destruction of private property.
Yeah.
Among other charges against this guy. Again, on South Alameda Street. Yeah, Tim, we always make jokes about a pursuit suspect stopping at a gas station and filling up. He actually got away with it for now.
Yeah, like I said, we had one earlier part of the month where
I'm looking for the park scene now.
Giving up on this pursuit.
And of course, if this
evidence and decide, how far they want to push this pursuit and how hard they want to chase. But it seems right here they don't want to give up.
Yeah, well, at least they have at this point, they do have a license plate number. They were able to get that information by being so close behind him. We see a black and white unit there.
Oh, I see a park.
We think basically, from what we've seen in the past, he probably is very familiar with this area, probably lives in this area and is trying to figure out some way to ditch the police. And now he found a wide open field. And this is what I thought might happen.
Yep, the park. Yeah, they get into the parks where the units can't chase them and kind of zip right along. And now the air units could have to take this over and keep a close eye. But all it takes is for them to find the pedestrian exit.
Damn, he's
out
bucking
the
through there.
They come right across the street. They're just zipping along. So yeah, it's Magic Johnson Park. Very, very familiar with this park over in the South Watts area.
Hey, he's still bucking. So let's just go ahead and see where else.
Hopefully, ran a guy just taunting the officers. All he's doing.
Shit,
this guy.
Yeah, that's all that was.
Little kids playing in a soccer game, and this guy, he almost hit somebody there.
Gets up in the middle of a soccer game, football game, and just sits there and taunts the officers to come after him, and then takes off. So it's just these people are, the people that do this, it's just you can't figure out what's going through their heads and why they do stuff like this. And it'll always be the same. It'll always be the same.
Yeah, I do agree with that, 13. Because I kind of was like side-eyeing the guy that said that, like, oh, that's another charge. Well, they're meant to break off like that so that there is no property damage. You can just put the hose, back on. And then Charlene coming in with the 10 joules. I very much appreciate that, by the way. All right, let's go ahead and skip ahead a little bit to where I guess he finds a park and he tries to fill up his his dirt bike. He calls a friend, I guess, and they're trying to meet up and get some gas.
All three of them have gone through the intersection on a red light, and their other units are going to try to pull over them to get them out of the way, get them out of the problem, because
there are other people.
Earn themselves, a ride to the station.
Oh, he's going to be going right into a gas station again.
He's up to a pump, and he had just enough
time.
No,
he was showing earlier what happened with that whole situation.
For about a minute or so to fill his tank back up. Don't know how much gas he was actually able to get, but if he was low enough, maybe he wasn't able to fill it up completely. But he suddenly pulled away. You'll see here in just a moment. And I don't know what he saw. Probably a black and white unit, or maybe heard the sirens. But when he pulled away in a hurry. And he took the nozzle and he took the hose with him. And they were dragging along
there he goes.
Beside him there for about a block. There you see it right there. And he pulls out of that gas station back into on the street on South Alameda Street. And after a couple.
So let's go ahead and skip ahead.
Sorry, what's that
Getting
street
close.
Again? West 112, 207 West 112th Street. He's actually at the moment hiding in a trash can.
There you go.
So,
what? Hold on. We're backing it up.
Close off.
This must be a familiar area.
Him off that motorcycle is the best thing that could have happened at this point.
Well, he's working hard to get away. He is, from what we understand, going through backyards, jumping fences. There's a lot of dogs barking at him, and now running down an alley, looking for some place to hide. But as we said, this must be a familiar area to him because the South LA Watts area and a little bit of Compton that he.
What's up, Marilyn? Great to see you in the chat, by the way.
Drove into. That seems to be an area that's familiar with him. But you see, there's a black and white unit. Parked now at an intersection, trying to block traffic, and another one there turning.
Yeah, they're setting that perimeter. As I said, the east perimeter is going to be Main Street, and now these units are going to drop in and start locking down the east-west streets span between Broadway and Main, blocking that area. That unit will probably stop right in there trying.
You can't ride dirt bikes on the street in Los Angeles, dude.
Close off that area because the area that kind of knows the general areas where he's at. So that unit's going to pop there. This one's going to run down and get that intersection of Broadway, and that's 111th trying to lock it up. But the one thing you're not going to see is a bunch of cars racing in where they think the suspect is. They've got to lock the area down first and then go in and find the suspect. But you see, it looks like we're pretty well focusing on this house right here. So he's more than likely in that neighborhood.
Yeah, Tim, it's our understanding that he at 207, I'm sorry, what's that street again? West 112, 207 West 112th Street. He's actually at the moment hiding in a trash can.
There you go. So, one of the favorite hiding spots.
Trash can. I saw some blue ones behind that one house, so maybe that's, you can see one right there in that back building behind that beige house. So possibly that's where he is, and judging by the way the black and white unit is positioned, I would say that's probably where he is at the moment. So at this point, he's not going anywhere. It'll be a matter of time. They definitely are going to get him now. It's just how long this is going to drag out.
Yeah, he has contained himself, thank goodness, and the officers will just take their time and do it safely back in there.
He's actually jumping out. He's got his hands up.
He's jumping out?
Looks like this is, he's finally given up after all that aggressive driving on that, dirt bike on city streets in South LA. And here we go. You see the officers there.
There you go.
There he is.
Yep.
Okay.
Now we're going to have to they're going to have to search where he ran and see if he dumped the gun or if he just dropped it right there in the driveway. So they'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, well, limping a little bit. So obviously, when he ate it, when he crashed, he's injured. Is probably going to have to be taken to the hospital. But
man, I didn't see where he actually ate shit though. You know what I mean?
And eventually here, you'll see him come up here, and he's going to get back on a surface street. And apparently, at the moment, we know, just to give you an update, he is southbound on Figueroa Street.
I backed it up.
We're having a tough time getting the shot because of the air traffic at LAX. But again, this is earlier, this dirt bike. You see him there just going through traffic. That's where it makes it tough for officers.
I want to see where he eats shit, like he said. That's what I want to see.
Of the field. And you can see the players all kind of...
Oh, there's the field scene. Okay, that's what I was also looking for earlier.
In the Athens Park, where it just so happens there are several soccer games going on. And he pulls up here for just a moment and then zooms right through the middle of the field. And you can see the players all kind of stunned, and the team there in the orange running off the field. The other team, you see a coach there telling people to back up. And, you know,
what the fuck?
He gets on this dirt part of the field and just kind of driving in circles for a while. And we understand now that he is currently on South Broadway. And that's what our aerial shot is trying to define right now. We see that one chopper in the air. That's obviously law enforcement, LAPD helicopter, which is over this pursuit. He's also being followed.
What's up, Seymour Cannabis? Good morning.
Last time we saw by 6 black and white LAPD units. Now, this is going back to the park in Athens Park. Black and white unit comes up right next to an SUV. And again, a lot of kids and coaches and parents running out of the way to try to stay safe as he hopped on South Broadway, which we're told he's on the same street right now. It's just a matter of us trying. Okay, he's now on. He just. What?
And I don't know why they kept switching to this camera, because this camera showed nothing. I mean, not that we needed that. We needed the other angle. But anyway, so they end up finding him at the house or whatever, and he starts backing up and whatever.
Coverage of this.
All right, so what a wild scene. Let's go into what the main topic is of the show, though, as you guys see on the title, as well as right here, Economic D-Day. And what does this even mean? So let's go ahead and bring this up and figure out exactly what's happening. And also, one thing that we haven't done yet is we all need to embrace our fuck-ups. And we're also well into overtime.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
We will always embrace the process here at Insanewheels. All right, let's go ahead and figure out what is happening with this Economic D-Day thing. Let me go ahead and bring this up. I thought I already had it queued up already for you guys, but I didn't. Here we go.
Now, a top Iranian official is firing back at the U.S. after President Trump threatened a, quote, economic D-Day to prevent countries from helping Iran amid this conflict. Trump made the initial announcement via Truth Social, writing in part, and this is a look at a portion of that, any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities to provide any type of lifeline to Iran will itself face tremendous economic consequences. Oil smuggling, swap lines, cash transfers, exchange houses, ship registries, front companies, it all needs to stop now. You know who you are. This will be an economic D-Day, and we need all of our allies to stand with the U.S. to isolate and defeat the Iran threat. These maniacs.
Real quick before he goes into further on that post. So, Steve, at noon, as soon as we get off of here, my monologue that I did on the Diamond Effect last night is going to be premiered on Insanewheels at noon Central Standard Time. So that would be 1 p.m. your time. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. So make sure you guys show up to the Diamond Effect, because I did have a fire-ass monologue, and I appreciate that, Steve Easy, for that. And Mr. 13 coming in hot with the gifted 5 memberships. Let's fucking go. Thank you very much. Absolutely. And if you guys got one of these memberships, make sure you guys tune in on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We always have a fucking great ass time. We actually don't even talk about this shit. We have a good time over there. But thank you so much, 13, for making it rain like that, man. Let's go.
They're on the ropes, and these historic measures will cripple them and their ability to project terror worldwide. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, as I mentioned, the foreign minister there in Iran quoting this, saying there, the so-called economic D-Day is a diversion from America's own crisis, unprecedented debt, and...
Real quick, Virginia Chaos coming in with the $2 saying, America eating a sandwich. Looking at Iran, no doubt. Let's go ahead and play
Man,
it.
motherfuckers talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big-ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
Yeah, what he said. Appreciate that, VC, making it rain as well.
Surging interest costs. Doubling down on failed policies will only bring further
Be
defeat
good, Naomi.
and enmity of Iranians. U.S. economic terrorism threatens global economy and sovereignty worldwide. Now, it's also important to note that all of this is taking place as the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, has suspended trade with Iran after missile attacks. So, as always, a lot of different developments.
And also, there is another development that just happened right as I hit go live. I saw the alert go off that there was another Houthi attack on Saudi this morning. So we'll be also watching that. Now, real quick, before they bring in anybody to discuss this whole thing, let me go ahead and stop sharing this real quick and give you guys what's happening. So let me see, make sure we're all good on this side. Okay, good. Economic D-Day is President Trump's label for a threatened escalation of the existing United States economic campaign against Iran. It is not yet a fully detailed sanctions package, and that distinction does matter. What Trump announced on August 19th was yesterday, obviously. Trump promised economic warfare and isolation against Iran on an unprecedented scale, he said. He warned that any country allowing its banks, companies, airports, or government agencies to provide Iran with economic lifeline would face major consequences from the United States. Now, however, as of August 20th, no complete list of new sanctions has been released. Trump has not publicly identified every targeted country yet. No universal tariff rate or implementation date has been announced, and Treasury has not yet published a separate economic D-Day enforcement package. Therefore, this is currently a sweeping policy warning backed by existing presidential authority, not yet one clearly defined action. Now, that came out from Reuters, okay? So what the United States is trying to accomplish, the administration is attempting to cut Iran off of nearly every remaining source of foreign revenue and force Tehran to accept a broader agreement, obviously. So how it could work is the campaign could operate through several overlapping pressure points, such as secondary tariffs, 2, Iranian oil exports, 3, banking and financial transactions, 4, shipping and Hormuz payments, and I'll tell you what they're even claiming on this from the U.S. Treasury. Treasury has warned companies that paying Iranian tolls for passage through the Strait of Hormuz can create sanctions exposure, even if those payments use cryptocurrency, barter, offsets, or indirect transfers. This makes the campaign more about the Iranian oil. It also targets Iran's ability to generate revenue from controlling or threatening commercial traffic. That came out from the U.S. Treasury. So you got to remember, 80% of Iranian oil is sold to China, okay? Primarily what they have to offer, 80% of it goes to China. So anyways, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an overview of what this looks like. But again, the biggest target in this is China. China is the central challenge because it reportedly purchases more than 80% of Iranian shipped oil. If Washington seriously targets Chinese banks, refiners, and companies, or imposes wider tariffs on Chinese products, the Iran campaign could become another major U.S.-China economic confrontation. And China is also capable of retaliating through tariffs on American products, restrictions on rare earth exports, pressure on American companies operating in China, alternative financial and shipping arrangements, increased purchases of discounted Iranian oil outside the dollar system. China has rejected additional pressure and called for a diplomatic resolution. This is why enforcing economic D-Day against Iran could carry serious consequences far beyond Iran itself. Now, that also came out from Reuters. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get back into this, and we'll skip ahead and see if there is anything here for us to go ahead and cover that I didn't just cover right now, because I pretty much just gave you the whole actual story. But let's go ahead and see if we get Trump's like posts or something like that. It looks like we do have one right here. Trump says on Truth Social, any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities to provide any type of lifeline to Iran will itself face tremendous economic consequences. Oil smuggling, swap lines, cash transfers, exchange houses, ship registries, front companies, it all needs to stop now. You know who you are. This will be an economic D-Day, and we need all of our allies to stand with the United States of America to isolate and defeat the Iran threat. These maniacs are on the ropes, and these historic measures will cripple them and their ability to project terror worldwide. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. All right, let's see if they get any other posts from this while they were breaking this. Iran International English comes out with something. Let's go ahead and see if he'll read this aloud.
This post coming in from Iran International English, where it's kind of lengthy, but essentially this is about a sort of protest that took place as Sharif University's Student Affairs Office said the ruling against Reza Dalman, a 24-year-old master's student in computer engineering, was final. Quote, the final ruling was communicated to the university for implementation on August 16th. According to the office, Dalman was arrested back on March 19th and released on bail about a month later. Student sources link his case to a stuffed rat that demonstrators hung from a tree during protests there at Sharif University in late February before a student climbed up and took it down, and the toy was an insult with a name. Critics began calling Ali Khamenei, who is the supreme leader, or was, I should say, Maush Ali or Rat Ali, after the late supreme leader largely vanished from public view during the 12-day war with Israel in June 2025, when reports said that he had taken shelter in a fortified underground facility. Maush means mouse or rat, and the nickname spread from social media into chants at protests inside Iran and among the diaspora, a way of mocking a leader his opponents said had run for cover. So
interesting. Didn't really have anything to do with what we were talking about with D-Day, but that is interesting developments. Then they showed the whole post from Trump again. They showed a couple more times, actually, which we already understand exactly what that means. We don't need this man over there to explain what I just explained. All right, let's go ahead and move on. We have a few more stories here. New York City woman missing while on vacation in Las Vegas. It says a New York City woman went missing while on vacation in Las Vegas. The search continues for a woman who disappeared while in Nevada. Family received text asking for crypto. This sounds very like bullshit.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit.
You just lost all your money in Vegas, and now all of a sudden you want to go ahead and pull some shit off like this. Okay, get out of here. Let's see what happens here.
A New York City woman missing after...
It says right here, age 63 years old, missing since Saturday, August 8th, 2026, last seen in Las Vegas, Nevada. Alyssa was last seen on Saturday, August 8th, 2026 in Las Vegas, Nevada. Her family is very concerned and asked for the public's help in locating her. Then they show her age, height, weight, hair, all this shit.
Going on vacation in Las Vegas, and her family says they're getting suspicious text messages from her phone asking for cash and Bitcoin, and that they don't sound anything like...
Hell yeah, you be safe out there, VC. And Mr. Ashton in the building. Shout out to you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well.
Her. Elisa Goods, a 63-year-old grandmother, has not been seen in about 2 weeks since she left for that trip to Las Vegas. She was reportedly staying with her friend, Roger John, who said that she left his apartment to go to a store, possibly a CVS, to pick up iron pills, and she never came back. So when she failed...
Already smells like bullshit.
...to come back, John reached out to her family, who said that they instructed him to file a police report with Las Vegas police. John also telling a Las Vegas news station that she usually stays with him when she visits. Now, this is, as I mentioned, an active investigation and a lot of people watching it closely. I want to bring in Toby Braun, private investigator and founder of American Special Investigative.
And I really don't care what he's got to say too much. I do want to hear the top monologue from him, but then we'll move on after that.
Group to talk much more about it. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us.
Good morning, Doc. Good to see you.
Good to see you. And of course, I mentioned here that the family says they have been receiving suspicious texts from her phone. How important would you say a cell phone is when you're looking at a missing person's?
It's probably the number one thing to use to find a missing person.
Case like this.
Well, having a phone is very important. The question is law enforcement actually utilizing a phone, and how is law enforcement currently treating us? If they're only treating us as a missing persons investigation, they may not be utilizing technology such as phone pings to try to geolocate that phone. If they're treating it just as a criminal investigation, and not in those situations, they likely would be utilizing that technology. But overall, having a phone is extremely important. That phone can lead to a lot of clues. Phones can be pinged.
Okay, no shit, but I want to see this. I'm in the middle of something now. That's why I'm texting. And then she says, when can you call me back? It's an emergency with mommy. Where are you? And this person said, aunt, this is the aunt saying, really? Yes, can you step outside and call me? Something happened to mommy. Oh my God, what happened to mommy? Blah, blah, blah. And then they got this right here. Looks like she copied it and pasted it and showed her aunt. Birth and photo ID, tap send Bitcoin or withdrawal Bitcoin, enter the receipts, recipient's Bitcoin wallet address or scan their QR code, double check the address carefully. Bitcoin transactions generally cannot be reversed. Enter the amount of Bitcoin you want to send, review the network fee and the recipient address, confirm the transaction. Depending on your security settings, you may need to enter your PIN or use biometric authentication. Okay, this just sounds like this is like all kind of set up. You know what I mean? Look, they're going over what I just read, so we don't need to do that. Let's see if they give any other text messages other than something that looks like that they just copied and pasted, because that doesn't actually like prove anything. It just shows that somebody texted it. So anyways, I'm not gonna hyper focus on it. I'm gonna wait until more reports come out about it tomorrow. That's what we always do. Anyways, so we do, speaking of an update on a story, we earlier in this show we're talking about a police helicopter crash that did a midair collision with a plane. There was 2 people on that helicopter. Unfortunately, we do not know the number of how many people were on the plane. So let's go ahead and bring this up. It says pilot dead, troopers hurt in Pennsylvania collision. So it looks like they do have an update on some of, the injuries and or if they're alive, and how many number of people were involved in this.
I want to get you back to a story that we have been following over the last several hours here on Live Now, and it takes us over to Pennsylvania. That is where a pilot has died and 2 troopers are injured after a helicopter and a small plane crashed at an airport. I want to bring in Morgan Parrish over at our Fox 29 Philadelphia station. She is on the ground here following all of the latest information as it comes in. Good morning, Morgan.
Josh, good morning. Yes, it was a tragic day in Carlisle yesterday. According to the FAA, a Cessna 150 airplane and then a Bell 407 helicopter collided and crashed into each other midair right near Carlisle. Unfortunately, the pilot did not survive the crash, and 2 troopers, they did manage to escape. They were injured, but officials say they are going to be okay. If we could take a look at the video from the scene from yesterday, this happened just after 6:30. And according to officials with Pennsylvania State Police, a helicopter crew based out of Harrisburg was conducting training at Carlisle Regional Airport. Police say about 20 minutes later, just before 7 o'clock, while hovering several feet off the ground in a grassy area next to a runway, that helicopter was struck from behind by a Cessna 150. Now, we know the Cessna hit the helicopter's tail rotor and main rotor, causing both aircrafts to crash down into the ground, and the plane came apart right on impact. That's how hard that crash was. We also know the helicopter rolled over, crashed on its side, and partially onto its roof. Police say the 2 troopers in the helicopter, Corporal Bryce Corman and Trooper Jason Mills, they were trapped after the crash, but like I mentioned, they did manage to escape.
Terrible.
I'm pleased and relieved to be able to share with you that after an aviation accident this evening in Carlisle, 2 of those heroes, 2 Pennsylvania State troopers, Corporal Bryce Corman and Trooper Jason Mills, while injured, are going to be okay.
Good.
And it is not confirmed that there were any other occupants in the Cessna, and officials, they also haven't released the identity of the pilot, but we do know that the NTSB is taking the lead on this investigation, and of course we're going to keep our
so far they're only counting the pilot as dead.
Our eyes open and our ears peeled for any new details that come out of this, but just a tragic day in Carlisle yesterday, Josh.
Yeah, that's terrible. All right. And our let's go ahead and get into this. FBI raids former Representative Eric Swalwell's home, or his home, just coming out about 50 minutes ago. Let's go ahead and bring this up. This is one of the latest stories breaking out here right now.
You're watching live now from Fox as we're following some breaking news as it relates to former Congressman Eric Swalwell. As right now, we are learning that the FBI seized former Congressman Eric Swalwell's electronics at his home in D.C. on Sunday. This is reporting here from Fox's Bill Mallusion. As he says, nobody was home. We are also told the FBI seized his electronics from him at San Francisco Airport on Saturday. Swalwell was not detained or...
What's up, Charlie Rose? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thirsty Thursday. And by the way, this goes for everybody. Let's get the likes up. Appreciate that. Double tap the screen if you guys are on the vertical
placed
side.
Under arrest. We are told this probe is in relation to the sexual misconduct allegations against Swalwell. FBI is not commenting. Fox News has reached out to Swalwell's attorney for comment. So this is just coming into our newsroom here, as once again, we are learning the FBI seized former Congressman Eric Swalwell's electronics at his home in D.C. on Sunday. Bill Mallusion going on to say there once again at the end, we're...
Now, even though this happened on Sunday, this information is just coming out this morning.
Told this probe is in relation to the sexual misconduct allegations against Swalwell. I also just wanted to provide a bit more context here. We've been following this story this past week as former Representative Swalwell admitted to FBI agents that he had physical relations with suspected Chinese intelligence operative Christine Fang on a quote handful of occasions. That's
Fang? Is that real? Come on.
Swalwell admitted to FBI agents that he had physical relations with suspected Chinese intelligence operative Christine Fang on a quote handful of occasions. That's according to newly declassified FBI records. Now, those records, which were declassified by President Trump and released by the White House Government Transparency Task Force earlier this week on Monday, detailed 2 FBI interviews with Swalwell. One at an Oakland field office in May of 2015, and another at the same location in March of 2016, conducted as part of a broader investigation examining Fang's involvement with illicit campaign contributions, funneling interns to Swalwell's office, and other activity. Now, during the first interview, Swalwell told agents he had physical relations with Fang on a handful of occasions, but their last physical encounter occurring in March of 2015. Swalwell, meanwhile, joined Congress in 2013. Now, in the second interview, Swalwell described multiple encounters, including one in which Fang arrived at his apartment banging on his door, and the two subsequently, quote, hooked up after Swalwell had taken a powerful sleep medication. The former congressman indicated he had little recollection of the event. The records indicated they, quote, probably occurred before Swalwell was elected to Congress. Here is another post that's just coming in from the New York Post, as we've been reporting this breaking news, saying FBI confronts Eric Swalwell at airport, seizes electronics in sexual misconduct probe. I want to see if we can go back to the Bill Mallusion post there again. If you are just joining us, I just wanted to reiterate some information here that Fox News...
Okay, we don't need to do that. All right, that looks like we are completely caught up. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for allowing me to do this Monday through Friday, and of course, members that fund us to do this, and where we give back on Saturday morning, man. I can't thank every single one of you guys. All right, listen, we'll be back tomorrow morning for more of the World's Menace as we continue down our truth-seeking adventure. We always appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like on the way out. Also, stick around. We're going to be rating our buddy Chatting with Stacks. He's live right now, so make sure you guys let him know that we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid. All right, much love, honor, respect. We'll see you guys very soon. God bless. Take care.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire.